In the last video we talked about the installation process of Streamlabs OBS. Today we'd like to tell you more about the main functionality and the system requirements. Streamlabs OBS is a free and open source streaming and recording software. Until today the only supported operation system is Windows 7, 32 and 64-bit, as well as later versions like Windows 8 and Windows 10. In the center you see the preview area. It shows exactly the same what your viewers will see watching your stream. In the screen section you can create and choose between different scenes. They are like templates, so you create, for example, one scene with one source and another scene with a combination of multiple sources. Another box to the right you got the sources area. Here you can add sources like streams and sound files. Nice to know is that the further up a source is sorted in the list, the more in the video foreground it will be. The bar at the bottom is the information area for things like CPU load, the current FPS, skip frames or your current upload speed. At the very right you got your Go Live button to start your stream as soon as you're ready. Next I will show you some settings by clicking in the upper right corner on the icon. An important option is automatically record when streaming. Activating this, your computer will upload your stream and save it to your disk at once. This will need much CPU power and will decrease your hard disk performance too. So activate this option only if you got enough resources. Let's talk about the different streaming options. First you can take the standard streaming services to choose one of the well-known providers like Twitch or YouTube. Another possibility is to use the provider Restream.io. Restream works like a stream distributor that redirects an incoming stream to multiple third-party providers of your choice at the same time. This saves your upload bandwidth because you don't have to upload multiple streams at a time. If you decide to use the provider like Restream, you will have to create an account for that service. After you finish creating it, you will get a stream key, which you have to paste into the stream key field on the specific field on the stream type setting page. So guys, let me explain you something about more detailed technical stuff. To do that, we open the output menu. First we choose as output mode the option Advanced to get more setting options. Opening the audio track drop-down list, we see different numbers. Respective numbers don't mean how many audio tracks we want, but which track number. For example, track number 1 is your desktop audio and track 2 is just the game you want to play. You can choose track 2 to avoid OS sounds like Windows Update notifications. About encoding, it's important to know that there are two kinds of it. The first one, software encoding, is done, like the name already says, and software on your computer by your CPU like the most other programs. An advantage is, depending on your encoder, a huge number of possible settings. To explain those will get beyond the scope of this video. The biggest disadvantage is the software encoding is compared to hardware encoding pretty slow. That's why hardware encoding is an interesting alternative. Using it you lose a lot less performance, because the calculations are not running on top of many layers on your operating system, but directly on specialized hardware like your graphic card. The biggest disadvantage is the lack of options compared to software encoding. All well-known graphic card manufacturers like Nvidia, AMD or Intel offer hardware encoding with many of their graphic processors. Some streaming service providers got specific requirements for things like bitrate, maximum resolutions or the profile. Activating the checkbox ensure your stream seamlessly works with your chosen service provider. If a streaming provider doesn't have such requirements, the checkbox will be simply ignored. Rescaling the output lets you lower the resolution before uploading the stream. For example, you are playing a native 4K resolution but have low upload bitrate. With rescaling you are still able to play in full resolution like 4K, scaling it down to 1080 or 720 before uploading. Setting the rate control to constant bitrate or CBR for short can save bandwidth but may lower your video quality. Setting it to variable bitrate or for short VBR will do the opposite of both. Use more bandwidth and enhance your video quality. If you play games with fast movements like shooters or racing games, you may set rate control to VBR to make sure fast motions are still sharply displayed. The next option, bitrate, is another bitrate where we talked about the last point, rate control. In this case, bitrate means your upload bitrate, which is determined by the contract with your internet service provider. To make sure what upload speed you really have, perform a speed test on a website like speedtest.net. There are not too many programs that need much upload on a PC, so you can unhesitatingly enter your full upload bitrate minus an amount about 500 kilobit per second for another application. Finally, OBS offers some options that refer to your PC performance. The first one, the process priority, specifies with which priority Streamlabs OBS is run by the operating system. It's recommendable to set it to above normal or higher to make sure your PC doesn't lag while streaming. The next one, forcing the GPU as render device, make sure your graphic card is set as a render device instead of your CPU, because graphic cards are much faster rendering graphics than a CPU. That's why graphic card processors, GPUs, exist. The last option we talk about today is automatically reconnect. This option ensures to automatically restore your stream if your internet connection is being interrupted, for example because of an unstable Wi-Fi connection. Well, that's all for today's episode. We hope this video has been helpful for you starting to use Streamlabs OBS. Good luck and happy streaming!